So first thing we do is take off the fascia panel here, which is usually quite tough, but don't be shy, give it a pry. The side panels, they just pull out either side. Next thing you need is a T25 to take the frame off. It's 4 screws for the first frame. Next thing to do is remove the front fascia of the AC panel. That just pulls off. Before you start anything, take a photo of how your switch packs are set up, because you will need this in the setup for the new system. Again, 4 screws on the AC panel. And then just pull it out and unclip the back of it. Next thing to do is take the switch packs off, the screw top and bottom, all T25. Just pull them out. Keep them aside, as you will need these for the installation. Next thing to do is there's T25 still, 2 screws either side of the infotainment system. Pull this out, and then you'll see behind, just disconnect everything. T25 either side of the CD player. But we don't remove this, we just need access to the back. So next thing we do, you need to take this panel off, pull the rubber trim down, pop the airbag cover off. And it's an 8mm socket. And then give it a pull. Just pull it out and slide it like that. pop this panel off and pull that up, get them all out, and then it should just come out towards you. Next, we've got to drop the glove box. There's a tab here and one on the other side. If you push them down, it will release. Okay, so using wiring loom tape, I'm just going to wrap this tape up like this so as we don't get any rattling going on, insulates it a bit better and stops it from chafing.
And that goes all the way to the end?
All the way to the end. The next is the 4G antenna. Again, wrap it up so as it insulates it and doesn't create any rattles, and go all the way to the bottom. So on the loom, take the headphone jack one, it will say on it external speaker, and everything else, prise it all apart so you're left with this bunch. So there's 3 wires and 2 phonos. Tape them together because you'll never need them.
And make sure the ends are also on there as well.
Yeah, make sure these ends, because they are live cables. So 4G antenna that we prepped earlier, if you slide it, it's usually a sweet spot up here somewhere. There we go.
Shove it in there nice and tight.
And then dangle the cable down here. Using little bits of tape, just tape it to the existing loom that's in here. So continue this loom. Make sure nothing is in the air duct part here. So make sure that area is clear. I'm going to come down here, tape it to this loom here, and then inside the glove box, go this way. Just leave it dangling out there until we get the microphone. Next, I'm going to peel the sticker off the back of the microphone. We want to wedge it just up here, just there, and then tuck this behind. And again, poke it through here and tape that up to there. So with these 2 cables, you want to tuck it behind the glove box bracket and pull it through. Run it along just at the bottom of the cabin filter housing. Two pillars you've got to go behind. So you want to get it into a position where it's behind both of these and hanging out here for now. And now we're going to feel your way through, but we're going to get it up there so as it's coming out where the rest of the loom is. So with your switch packs side by side, just unplug it. Try and get it through here. It's quite tricky. And do the same with the other one. Now we need to cloth tape these up, plug them back in and hide them, tuck them away up there.
So you need to completely cover them.
Yep. Just to stop them rattling about.
And activating.
Yeah. So plug the right switch pack in and tuck him away up here. So with the left switch pack, get the wiring loom, plug that in.
Doesn't matter which side you use.
Yeah, there's only one side to use.
Okay.
Plug that into the switch pack, and that is the cable, that's the end that will go into the back of the new system. So tuck this away up here. Somewhere. Doesn't really matter where, just as long as it's out of the way for now. Next, pull the CD player out. It's usually quite tight. So we're going to leave this out for the minute whilst we feed some cables through that we have to get up here because it's tight on the top here going down here. Sometimes it's best to feed it up through here so as we don't squash GPS cable.
Okay.
Next, you want to install the GPS splitter. It's always best to take this one out so you can access it. Pushing down on the top. Blue one, little blue one, is the GPS.
It's the dark blue one here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Put the splitter in there. Put one of these ends back in the CD player. And then pop this cable back.
The white one.
We can leave that. What we need now, this extra adapter plugs into the GPS and will go into the back of the new unit. But if you can, sometimes there is space, sometimes there isn't. If there is, great. If there isn't, don't worry. But there usually is enough space to get it up here, just so as you're not squashing the cable when you put it through. And just leave that dangling out there for now. The two ones that we had coming out of the glove box, you now have to feed up into here to bring them out the top here. You can't really see anything, it's just a case of feeling your way through. Next thing is to get the two USBs through there and out the other side on top of the glove box. Again, there's no recipe, you just gotta feel your way through. If you dangle it down, you can get your hand down here. So I used a stepper drill and went all the way down to the bottom, which is 20 mil, which is enough. So next we need to drill a hole around about here. So just feed them through there.
Just make sure that the cabling in front of this is nicely secure out the way.
So it doesn't interfere with the housing going up and down. So pull the back of the CD player out. There's a main loom here, power cable that we need to take out. Plug the adapter in there and then plug that back in to the CD player. And now we are done with the CD player, so we can feed that back in. Feed it back in.
It's quite tight in there, so you just got to make sure that you don't catch any cables on any corners anywhere.
So next we need to install the speaker in this area. So we need to pop these back, just like that.
Just so it's nice and flush.
Pull the sticky back off the speaker housing. Squeeze it up there, roughly around there. Push it down. We do need to put a screw in on this one, not any of the others, just this one. I use self-drilling screws. That's that done. Feed the cable through here. And then through here, which will plug into
The new system.
then, yeah. So on your old system, you've got 4 screws on each corner, 1 on each corner, and you need a tiny hex to undo them all. And now you take the backing off. Go very careful, as you need to unclip the ribbon cable around here. Pop that off. Put that to one side. So on the first motherboard, you have 9 screws you need to take out. The 2 shinier chrome ones you leave in, you don't take these out. Now that you have these screws out, put 1 finger on here, the black one, and 1 finger on here, and gently prise the board up like that, and then take it out. Put it to one side. Second motherboard, you have 4 screws that you need to take out. Now take the second motherboard out. Place that aside. So on the new system, take this tab, the sticky back, off somehow. Careful not to rip it off all the way through here. And just place that down on the back here. And then, now we have to take 4 screws out, which is a mini Phillips of some kind.
There's 4 of those.
There's 4 of these.
So one over there, another one over there.
Now that the 4 screws are out, be very careful and take this off. You may have to figure out a way so as you don't accidentally pull the 4G or the GPS tabs out. Now with the small motherboard, place that very carefully in there. And do the 3 screws up, the ones with the metallic clusters around the holes. There was not a tab for this one, but there is a 3 there, that's all you need. Next, take that out. We need the heatsink that is supplied, and that will need to be carefully pressed on top of the board there, on the CPU. Now that we have that on there, this section here will need to slot into this section here. So we'll place it in. This one can be quite tight, so we may need to spread the frame a little bit just to squeeze it in there.
And when it comes to tightening, tighten each screw very gradually around the board. Don't just tighten one of them fully and then move on to the next. Make sure it's an even tighten all the way around, and then gradually just keep tightening them until the board is fitted.
And then click that last bit into place.
So you're not going to fully tighten these in now, you just...
No, and then I'll go round and manually
tweak each one.
Yeah. So this is the cable that come with it. Recommend you use the original ribbon cable out of the system. This is really tight on here, so go careful. There we go. And now we're going to install it into the new system. Very carefully. Which way that goes? Probably that way.
And you basically just pop that on the other board. Make sure it's straight and clips in properly. Check that there are no cables in the way. And fitting the casing back. You can see we've made sure that black cable over there is in that slot. And then just tuck away that ribbon cable.
And now use the use the 4 smaller ones, not the longer ones, to install the new frame back.
So the shorter screws.
Short screws.
Yeah, perfect.
Next step is to get some isopropanol or isopropyl alcohol, tiny amount, but clean the face of the ribbon cable as it's got a protective grease coating. So the next thing, whilst it's on the bench, just as well install the SIM card, slide that back, pop the old one out, or the tester one.
We use gift-gaff, but you're welcome to
Use any one you
slot
want.
in whatever card you want.
So we're going to feed the wrapped up SIM card tray, should you wish to change networks in the future. We're going to feed it on the right hand side. Down here, and then down here. Try and poke that out there. So it'll just be a case of popping that face off to change the SIM card. To give us a bit more leg room, we're going to put these cables in here for now. Click that up and just close it so we've got some room. If your system has the TV box, which enables you to watch TV whilst driving, it's the same loom as the original one. That just goes into the adapter here. Obviously find a way to tuck that back up here. So now it's time to plug everything in. Obviously it's pretty self-explanatory. Your stuff like your speaker, that clips in. Just make sure it's all free and tidy as you start putting everything to the back.
Because it is quite tight in there.
So as you know which one goes where, the right angle one is the 4G and the straight one is the GPS. That just carefully screws in there.
A finger tight, eh?
Finger tight. Make sure when you're plugging in that the adapter that goes here gets plugged in last, as this is the power which will power the unit. Or you'll blow it up. So make sure everything else is plugged in quite firmly, and this is the last one you plug in, which is the power. Before we installed the new system, we had notched this bit out, as that allows for the loom to go in properly.
You just got to feed all those cables back in there gently, just to make sure that nothing's pulled. And it's quite a shallow unit, so it should sit fairly comfortably on those 4 points. Right, so we've got the unit in now, and then we're just screwing back in the four screws to secure it.
Cool. If you've bought the AC panel, take your old frame, which should have these metal clips on. You'll need them to push onto here.
Yeah, these are fairly tight on here, so they're going to take a bit of work to get off. But when you do take them off, if you have expanded the actual slot, just squeeze them together again, just to make sure that they're nice and tight.
So with the new frame from the new AC panel, it just slots in using the 4 holes to screw in.
Well, those 4 screws are from the original panel, right?
Yeah.
So as you can see, we've put those 4 clips on the back of the AC panel, and now we're about to fit it to the bracket.
So plug it in and then line them up. Just give it a little push. Okay, back to the system, the infotainment system. On the original frame, there are these tiny
Metal clips
that need to go in here on the top. So we're going to do that. So before you put this on, you want to put your side panels on. They go on, just give them a little push and they click in.
Just line them up.
Give them a little push, just like that. So we've got our clips in now. Look at these ones at the bottom for the new system, and the ones over here.
And top 3 as well.
Top 3 are in.
Yep.
Now we're gonna on the back of the screen, make sure the white tabs go on first.
Clipped on firmly as well.
Nice and tight. So remove this bit of tape, just holding it down to protect it. So we don't need this anymore. Feed the ribbon through here. And we have to line up the 6 screw holes in the frame.
And these screws are the screws that came with the new screen.
Yep.
So make sure that they're the only screws you use to fit this panel.
So installing the screen now, this is tricky. Please be careful not to pull hard on the ribbon here. It's just a case of gently inching ever closer to get the right point. Just feeding it in there. Tucking that in there, making sure the clips are all lined up, which they are.
Get a nice sort of soft cloth.
Give it a good push. It will click into place, and we're done. So back in the glove box we have our 2 USBs poking through and our Apple CarPlay dongle.
If you've got an Apple device. If you've got an Android device, you won't be needing one of these.
It's plugged into the other one.
Perfect.
Now that you've put reverse on the original system, go to settings, system settings, factory set, put the password in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, confirm, go to vehicles choice where we set the system up.
And this is where you would have taken a photograph of your original system layout.
Yeah. So now that we're in these settings, you have to make sure you get your resolution correct. And you do this by popping it in reverse. That's out of sync. The rear view is too far to the right, so we go back to park, change it to the next one, put it back in reverse, that's not correct. Go back and just cycle through until you have the exact match. That looks about right. Let's just double check the rest. So that was resolution 4. Definitely not 3. Could be 2. Definitely not 1. I think 2 looks better. It's either 2 or 4. Seem roughly the same, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I think 2.
Yeah, we'll go with 2. Okay. So to get your correct switch panels left and right, you tap on there and you cycle through whichever ones match your original system. We found the one for here and it was 5.
And you get those settings from the photo you took initially when you were about to take out the old system.
So then we press the ghosted circle, press home, and now we're able to press, so long as your resolution's set up, now we're able to press the car, which will bring you back to your original system. Just make sure the buttons work, and if they don't, press the home button to bring you back to the Android. Open the tabs up, press that, and cycle through car 1 to 7 to find which one works for your buttons. So now that our buttons all match, we can then go back to system settings, go back from there, unit settings, miles per hour, mile, go to type selection, disable Z-Link 5, and then reboot the system. Now we are installing the CarPlay
Software.
So
So you guys are going to have to download this file from our website, which will obviously provide you with the link to do so. You will have to have your own memory stick for this.
Okay, so we go back to the system settings, go to File Manager, USB drive, autoplay, .apk,
So that's the file you're going to download and save to the USB.
install. Click open. Okay, so this is the CarPlay interface. Obviously the box is the CarPlay dongle, we haven't got that in at the minute. But what we need to do next is we need to tether our phones to it so as we've got internet. And you do this by going back to there Okay, we're going to have to take it back. Okay, we're going to have to go system settings, battery set, input the password again. Android settings. Go to network. Click on Wi-Fi.
And you've now activated your hotspot on your phone.
So now your device is connected to the internet. Go back to the home screen. Click on settings. System settings. So the CarPlay section, you want to change this CarPlay. It's currently on the browser. You want to change that to autoplay. So now we can go to the home screen. Just tap that and that'll bring us. Go to your settings. Change driving mode from left to right. Scroll all the way down and do autoplay upgrade. Go back to CarPlay and this will pop up, always upgrade, and wait for that to download, and then you have to press install. Just double check in your settings that there are no more updates, already up to date. Okay. To do a sound check to make sure your audio is all working, go to your original system and click on media. Make sure it is always on auxiliary. Home, and this section here is where I'm playing the sound test. And for setting up the AC panel, it's pretty straightforward. Click on settings, click on vehicle settings, and change it from left-hand drive to right-hand drive, or Vogue or Sport, depending on which one you have. Now we can put this side panel back. You'll notice two tabs here which are pointing that way, which you'll need to carefully slot in. So slide this in the way it come out. You'll see two knobs. They got to be pushed right down. Careful not to squish the cable. There you go.
Beautiful.
Make sure the tabs are in. Give it a bang and then put the 8mm back.
And then feed the rubber seal back in, the door seal. Make sure it's in properly, not bulging anywhere. And that's it.